Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. Liftoff. We have a liftoff.
Hey everybody, this is the Digital Asset Investor, and I'm starting you out with Link2 has created my sponsor, which you can find at linqto.com. Link2's created a, this looks like an AI commercial, but it's pretty cool. Watch this.
Imagine investing in the next artificial intelligence giant before it goes public. Sounds impossible? Think again. Here's the scoop. The Magnificent Seven dominate the stock market, accounting for a whopping 49% of the S&P 500's gains in the first half of 2024. Each of these powerhouses is pouring resources into AI. Had you invested $1,000 in each of these companies in 2017, your stake would have ballooned to about $56,000 by February this year. But here's the catch. These stocks are now trading near all-time highs. So what if you could get in on the ground floor of the next potential AI breakthrough before it hits the public market? Enter Link2. We're unlocking the door to pre-IPO investments in cutting-edge AI companies. Dive into our portfolio and get ahead of the curve. Start your journey at link2.com.
There you go. Or you can download the Link2 app. Now, I wanted to make a point, which some of you know, some of you don't know, but you know, once the SEC filed the appeal in the Ripple case, it's like, oh no, the end of the world, end of the world. Well, in terms of what really most people listening to my voice probably care about, it's really not the end of the world. I want to remind everyone that the original lawsuit was dropped in December of 2020. You're looking at November of 2020. Price was around 69 cents. When the lawsuit dropped, which would have put us right there towards the end of December 2022, that price dropped all the way down to 22 cents. After the lawsuit had been going on for a while, the price spiked back up in April of 21 up to as high as $1.79. Okay, so there's opportunity in them there hills is what I'm trying to say to you. But this time is different in a good way. Last time we didn't have real USD, and we didn't have an ETF on the way, and we didn't have 2025 coming, which everybody claims that is going to be a huge year for all this. We didn't have legislation on the horizon. We have all of that now, so I wanted to remind everybody of that. Let's check in with the Ripple stablecoin tracker. They're minting a bunch, like little small amounts of RLUSD, and then I saw one that was a bigger amount down here. Most of these are small. Here's one, 6.1 million was minted, but it's kind of fun to keep track of that. Stuart Alderati still fuming. A few of my favorite Second Circuit Court of Appeals quotes from the last time the SEC stuck its hand into that appellate buzzsaw, SEC versus Govil. 1, we do not agree with the SEC. 2, we are not persuaded by the SEC's arguments. 3, the SEC's counter-arguments are unavailing. And Ashley Prosper, I think, sums it up pretty well. 1, we do not agree. These are the 3 things. And then she says, all 3 of those statements are things that you might find in an order that dismisses a case for lacking merit or being frivolous. A smackdown like that would destroy the SEC's crypto agenda. I like that thought pattern. Then the Tether CEO has said Tether is the U.S. government's best friend, and he's talking about they hold more U.S. treasuries than Germany and any other competitor. That's why I say they're a 3-letter operation. I think they were intentionally set up to do that. Now, I do follow James Filan. I can't be the only person that happens to. You'll see, like right here, it'll look like I don't follow him. But if I click on his name and go to his profile, it'll show that I do follow him. Anyway, he says the appeal has been docketed on the United States Court of Appeals for Second Circuit Pacer docketing system. Case title is Securities Exchange Commission versus Ripple Labs, and the docket number is this. So we are in motion. Now, this is Matt Hogan from the CIO of Bitwise talking about the SEC appeal of the Ripple case.
I wanted to get your opinion on something. This was Ellen Ortera coming over Fox Business And she made some statements here that I thought were interesting around this. The SEC, of course, has not filed its Form C with the Second Circuit. This is in reference to the appeal. So they need to do this pretty fast so Ripple kind of knows how to proceed. They also have 14 days from today to file a cross appeal if they choose to do so. I'm just kind of curious, do you think that we could see a scenario, because this seems like a little bit of a chess match right now between the SEC and Ripple. Do you think that maybe the SEC could just simply say, we're going to drop this appeal?
Oh, wow. That would be interesting. I mean, of course, anything is possible, and I'm not a legal expert. We'd have to talk to my general counsel. My view is that the SEC seems to be moving down the pathway of appealing this, but we will see. At the end of the day, what I'm focused on from a legal perspective is that, crypto has done exceptionally well when challenged by the SEC in court on major cases. I think Ripple is probably the most well-known example of that, but there have been multiple instances where the courts have found that the SEC has overstepped and that the arguments the crypto industry has made are maybe more sound than are purported in the mainstream media. They have a very good track record in court. I think that's the case here. And so I don't know on this no appeal story, but I think Ripple has made real progress in court against the SEC, and I think they should feel good marching forward on that.
Listen, Judge Torres is probably going to have a field day, I think, with this one on our what we've seen, and we've reported on this and covered this, done deep dives on this pretty extensively. It'll be an interesting round of legal, I guess, hoops that we'll be dealing with for a little while. So it's going to be.
Yep. Then we got this. This is a clip where the same guy is sitting here talking about why do an XRP ETF, and I thought it was interesting. Like 3 or 4 times he mentions the importance of the XRP community in their decision.
I want to hit on the point of the news this week, of course, just yesterday, I believe it was, you guys going into officially filing for an XRP ETF, more around just the topic of why XRP as the next ETF, because many people are looking at all kinds of different assets, especially in the digital sphere. Why XRP?
Yeah, absolutely. Again, can't talk to the specific filing, but can talk to XRP in general. First, I think you probably heard me say this, we're in the ETF era of crypto. So I think there are going to be ETFs on a wide variety of ETPs. XRP specifically, it has a very vibrant community. It's been around for many years and sustained that community. It has a novel consensus approach that's been working at low inflation rates, and it has interesting and evolving use cases. My general view on crypto, I'm an index investor at heart, right? I come from the sort of index investing side. My general view is we are still in the early stages of crypto, and no one knows exactly how it will play out. And so we want to offer investors access to a wide variety of assets. XRP is one with a strong community and a strong track record and a strong history. There are people with positive views. There are people with negative views. We understand that, but just if we can structure a low-cost, secure way to access that, we think that's an improvement for the market.
There you go. Now, look, this guy right here, he goes by, I think, Da Vinci. For years, we've been seeing him and one of his Bitcoin maxi friends, goes by the Moon, I believe. They've done videos where they're laughing and talking about how XRP is going to zero and all this stuff. And I understand that they're just trying to get views and all that. But they've also been blatantly lying to people out there. And because this guy, as you'll see, he had a debate with, I wouldn't even call it a debate, with Matt Hamilton. This guy doesn't even know what he's talking about, even with Bitcoin. And he's been saying all these things. The only thing this guy's been right about is that he happened to be early in Bitcoin and just Bitcoin. But he doesn't even understand the difference. He doesn't even understand XRP or Bitcoin. And Matt Hamilton makes him, in a nice way, makes him look like a fool twice, 2 or 3 times. Here's one of them.
Maybe this is wrong. I want you to clarify this for me, and maybe it's completely wrong. But in this one example is that somebody got their XRP frozen, right? When they tried to dump it, and please clarify that particular point. If you can Maybe it's,
No.
it's something different.
Yeah, that's no one's ever had their XRP frozen. You can't freeze XRP. There's not the ability to freeze XRP on the XRP ledger. So the incident you possibly are referring to was one of the original founders, a guy called Jed McCaleb, who sold his XRP for USD, and that was then seized on an exchange, right? Had he have kept his funds in XRP, there would have been no way to have seized it, right? Bar going after him with a large spanner, right? Which is the same attack you can do on Bitcoiners. So no, XRP can't be frozen. There isn't any facility or ability to freeze XRP on the XRP ledger.
So I don't have any sympathy for these guys because they've been intentionally throwing out all this misinformation over the years, and it's just not true. Here, this guy doesn't even understand how Bitcoin hardware would affect or not affect speeds of transactions in Bitcoin.
Faster networks, right? Which will allow us to actually instantly send transactions. What happens if we have instant transaction settlement across all the network nodes, right? What happens if that happens? You know what I mean?
That can't be done by changing something underneath Bitcoin. That can only be done by changing.
That is what's underneath, is the actual physical layers, right? That's like,
you
for
change
example,
those and Bitcoin stays the same. The Bitcoin algorithm specifically compensates.
Yes, the algorithm stays the same, just like TCP/IP does, right? But all of a sudden, because of a lot of equipment, the physical equipment, everything becomes faster. Bitcoin becomes faster. That's the same.
If you change all that underneath, right? Bitcoin still does 7 transactions a second and still a block every 10 minutes. In order to change those, you've got to change the parameters of Bitcoin itself, not the underlying. If I suddenly get a miner that can mine 10 times as many blocks a second, that doesn't change the speed of Bitcoin. We've seen that already, right? Bitcoin miners are now faster than they ever were, and that doesn't change, right? Bitcoin is designed to keep the block time constant, and hence the number of transactions per second constant. The only way of changing those is by changing the actual parameters of Bitcoin itself. You can't do that by changing an underlying layer.
The guy has literally stopped talking at this point. He's embarrassed.
We've seen that over time. Otherwise, Bitcoin would now be 100 times, 1,000 times, 10,000 times faster than it was, because we've got ASICs running instead of, my desktop CPU running as it was, back in the day when I used to mine, right? Changing the underlying hardware doesn't change.
So these guys, now think about this. These guys are a big part of all these people who've been bashing XRP for all these years, and they don't even understand it. And this guy doesn't even understand Bitcoin completely. Now, I'm not saying you have to be a techie and understand all the technicalities of the thing, but if you're gonna sit and bash all the other digital assets that are superior, you better be ready to defend your position. Now, the poly market is betting. That's the trading or the betting website. They're betting that Lynn Sassman, he leads the polls as the most likely to be Satoshi Nakamoto, the creator of Bitcoin. I'm going to say it again, folks. The guy, I direct message the guy that created this Bitcoin documentary for HBO that's coming out Tuesday, and I literally asked him. I said, "Here's the video of Homeland Security. Did you go and interview this agent to find out who the 4 Satoshis were?" Because if he didn't, folks, then all this is another one of these Bitcoin propaganda films to end with a big debate. Oh, could it be Lynn Sassman? It's just, and that's no different than anything we've seen before. It helps to continue this, to continue this lie that it's a mystery who Satoshi is. And that's what I think that the film was probably made for. And if he won't even respond to my direct message where I provide the video for him, that's very telling in my opinion as well. Now, Monerex put this interesting tweet out. The XRP community have heard us, but don't know what Monerex official is all about. Let's change that with a thread. We're providing Web3 solutions towards businesses and customers, focusing on decentralizing the financial system. I'm not going to go through this whole thread, but they did an entire thread so you can get an understanding of what they are doing. Now, in DAIXRP.com, you know what we're going to talk about? We're going to talk about the insanity going on in this country. I'm going to talk about one of the things that's happening today with X47. This is all pure insanity. Then the insanity of what's going on in North Carolina, we're going to hit that too. I'm the digital asset investor. I'm not an investment advisor. This is for entertainment purposes only. Please subscribe, hit the like button, tell your friends and family. Our world has gone, or at least the United States has gone Looney Tune crazy. Cuckoo for Cocoa Puffs. Here we go.